Best-selling author Walter Isaacson has written biographies of people with great minds like Albert Einstein, Benjamin Franklin, and Steve Jobs. Isaacson is here with his new book. It's called Leonardo da Vinci, as you know by now. It's published by Simon & Schuster, which, by the way, is a division of CBS. Walter Isaacson, welcome.
Hey, Gayle.
Boy, it is so great. Welcome. It's so great to see the history of Leonardo da Vinci that crosses all genres. But let's talk about Leonardo, because you describe him as a man of eye-catching beauty. I like that phrase. Flowing golden curls, muscular build, good physical strength, and a genius, but a different kind of genius, you said.
Throw up Vitruvian Man,
Yeah,
a wonderful drawing. I think you have it there.
That was his self-portrait.
And I think that's a self-portrait of him. It fits his description totally, and it is an icon of connecting art and science. This is a drawing in which he gets every proportion exactly right. He's spent 230 measurements to get it right, but he also does something of unnecessary beauty as he's standing there naked in the earth and in the universe, figuring how do we fit in.
How is this genius different from other geniuses, though?
Well, you know, some people like Mozart say, great genius, but in a particular field. To me, what's interesting is when you can cross fields. He thought of himself as an engineer, a scientist, an anatomist, somebody who loved geology. His notebooks are filled with all of his love of math and science and nature, but also art. And so I think real creativity comes when you can see the cross currents of nature as opposed to getting all siloed.
He was an expert in so many things, and yet he had no formal education.
I think he was lucky. He was lucky to be born out of wedlock, which meant he couldn't go to the university. So he became what he called, you know, a self-taught person. He became a disciple of experiment and experience. And this is the beginning of the scientific method in a way where people say, well, let me test the wisdom I've been given. So he born just as the printing press comes about, Gutenberg, and he just reads everything, and he's the person in history who wanted to know the most about everything you could possibly know.
It's almost the Aristotelian method in some ways, but you write about his to-do list. Sometimes my husband makes fun of my to-do list, but the great thing...
We can learn from Leonardo, make a to-do list.
I love that you say the to-do list. He just wrote about, what is this? Figure out this.
Why is the sky blue? What does the tongue of a woodpecker look like? Every day we get a list from him of the things he wants to learn, and it's sort of inspiring.
And the book is based on more than 7,000 pages of notebooks.
Yeah.
What do we learn? What did you learn in the course of this research that we didn't know before?
Well, the cool thing about the notebooks is that after 500 years, we can still flip through them and see day by day what he was doing. And fortunately, paper was slightly expensive. So on any particular page, he's maybe drawing a sketch of the Last Supper, but then he's doing a little math experiment, and then doing mountains, and then doing the swirls and curls. And so you see how his mind leaps across.
The paper is jam-packed. I love the Mona Lisa story, though.
I mean, look what you have on screen, man. The fetus in the womb. It's like a thing. Yeah.
It's very detailed, too, Walter.
Yeah, beautiful.
But when you talk about the Mona Lisa smile, you said that he used to bring in musicians to make her smile.
Right.
But what I thought was interesting is he would go to the morgue and look at cadavers and peel back to see the formation of a smile.
Right. When you ask, you know, what do you find in the notebook? We have page after page of him dissecting the human face, showing every muscle, every nerve, whether the nerve comes from the brain or the spinal cord. And then, after a few pages of it, the first slight sketch of Mona Lisa's smile. So we see how the science connects to the art, and it's inspiring.
Part of it's eerie.
Yeah.
It is eerie, but, you know, he just had this passionate curiosity for curiosity's sake. And so he's doing anatomy dissections, but he realizes that the beauty of the human body is connected to the beauty of nature.
So where did that drive come from? It was just innate for him, that he just couldn't turn it off?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I think there's certain innate geniuses. Einstein is one of them where, you know, whoa, he got some processing power. But I think with with Leonardo da Vinci, he pushes himself to just be more curious. As Norah said, you read those lists of things he wants to learn. And so that's why he's a more accessible genius than some of the others I've written about, because we can do that too. We can, like, he would just say, why is the sky blue? It would be in his notebook, and he'd do experiments.
You've compared him to Steve Jobs. We've been saying all morning you're going to tell us why the two you see.
Well, you know, whenever Steve Jobs would launch a great product, I mean, I see all of his products all over your table and in my pocket. At the end, he would show the intersection of two streets, liberal arts and technology. And he'd say, if you can stand at the intersection of the humanities and science, or of arts and engineering, that's where creativity occurs. To me, that's what Vitruvian Man is all about and Leonardo da Vinci is all about.
10 years of research. You should have made it bigger.
Love it. Love it.
Well,
Nicely
Vinci.
done.
the pictures are beautiful
Nicely
too.
done.
On sale
Thanks,
today.
Simon
You're
and
watching
Schuster.
CBS This Morning.
Very nicely done.
Yeah.